This cow is lame. We know that because we saw her walking in. Well, you didn't, but we did. The only thing is, we're not entirely sure which of these back feet it is. We do know that it is a pretty major issue though. Hopefully, we'll figure out which foot it is in this video.
And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you.
So that, in the intro, is completely serious. We remember this cow walking in, we know she's lame, but none of us three here can remember exactly which foot it was that she's lame on. We think it's possibly our back right foot, but one thing is for sure, we're gonna find out exactly which one it is. They both need trimmed anyway, because we should trim all 4 feet on every cow that enters the crush. So clearly this outer claw is substantially overgrown, but actually so is the inner one. So we need to trim both of them back to the correct length, which is around 75 millimeters, right down the dorsal wall, which is the frontal part of the hoof. I've trimmed millions of cows' feet now in total, so I'm very good at judging exactly how far that is, so we don't need to measure it on every single cow. As we trim back this outer claw, you can see a small dot appearing on the bottom part of her foot towards the toe area, and a larger crack further up the hoof. These could be the problem, but I can't be certain at this stage. I make sure both claws are as balanced as they possibly can be before modelling them out as deeply as I can with the grinder. I'll need to finish this off with a knife, but I might as well make a start with the grinder. So we'll just widen this up quite a bit. You can see a little bit of bruising in there. These are the dots I'm talking about, just in case you weren't sure. Either of these could be a problem. These little problems up here, they're not problems, they're just loose and detached hoof horn. What I'm going to do now is, that is an issue, so that does go quite deeply. That bruising there is a bit of a problem as well, so we need to investigate that a little bit. So we're just going to adjust this entire portion of her heel. We might need a block even if this doesn't come to anything major, but we definitely don't want to leave this little crack here, because they can definitely keep cracking. Oh, that's a bird scarer you can hear in the background. These little cracks can materialise into major issues. This one's not going to right now, but we definitely don't want to leave it there. So we are going to just reduce this. These little spots here often link up to major issues. Ah, you're okay, lass. So we're just going to reduce this entire area. And now that I'm seeing this, I'm not sure this is the problem, but we are definitely going to put a block on that inner claw. So Craig can get that ready right now.
Small, large, small please, Craig.
And we'll get that straight on here. So I'll just tidy this little bit up because that's dirty hoof horn and the glue won't stick to that properly. So I prepare that inner claw with the grinder to make sure it's smooth and level and ready for that block. And whilst the grinder's in my hand, I reduce this part of her outer claw. This is zone 2, and as you've just seen, there are small dots of bruising. That bruising doesn't materialise into anything major. So with that done and the block in position, we can carve out this massive edge on the inside of our toe. All of this big ridge, look, I can take this really big cut out of here because there's a really big overhang of hoof. You see? She definitely doesn't need that.
Oh, hey!
Anyway, so this is the foot that we thought had the major issue, and she is very, very lame, and I don't think that bruising would be the source of it. So we start in the inner claw, making sure the balance and length of it is correct before moving to that outer claw to reduce the entire size of it. It being overgrown is the problem. That is what has caused any underlying issues. And as we do that, again in zone 2 of our foot towards the toe, a little crack is emerging, and I'm hoping this is where the issue lies. Hoping, but not certain. Just widen that model just that little bit more. Get right in there to open that up a little bit, and then we're going to reduce this and hope this is the issue. Again, we're going to be putting a block on this anyway, so I can reduce this quite substantially. This one's different. If you look there, so even if this doesn't come to anything major, can you see that little shiny bit right at the tip of my knife? That is a source of pain. There we have it. Problem found. And I'm very, very relieved to find that, to be honest. I now know that I need to reduce a lot more of this height because we're putting a block on anyway, and that cavity will extend up into her foot. Oh, this is not looking very tidy the way I'm trimming this, is it? Sometimes that happens. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll get a block on there so that it dries nice and hard, because we know that we like things nice and hard, don't we, Graham? Oh, that put you off your stride, didn't it? So again, just like the back left foot, we make sure this inner claw is perfectly ready to take a block so that the glue has every chance of staying on for the duration. And while that grinder's in my hand, I might as well reduce the entire size of that outer claw even more, so that there's less work for me to do with the knife. Right, I'm going to take away this inner wedge, ledge, straight away. Get rid of that. And then we're going to reduce all of this. It's lovely, these big slithers coming off like that. Have to be so careful because we do know there's a cavity in there, but we don't know exactly how far that cavity extends up into her foot. Change my knife because that one's got a little scratch in it, so it's not quite as sharp. But you can actually see the knife through the slithers of hoof horn. It's translucent, see that? It's cool, isn't it? I thought I would have come through to it by now. I'm a little bit apprehensive. That's good, that helps me understand it a little bit more. Just keep thinning it out with tiny little slithers of hoof horn to understand what's underneath. I think it's turning slightly grey underneath, so I can see a little bit of where that cavity extends to. Change knives again. Really try to be as careful as I can here because I'm struggling to understand exactly where this cavity goes. I think it goes up this way, but it's very hard to tell. Get a blade of my knife under there. So this is a very new problem and it's very close to the corium, which is why we're struggling to find a cavity. Make no mistake, there is a small cavity, and even that smallest of pressure pockets is causing her a huge amount of pain, which is why we spotted her walking in so easily. I mean, it was easy for us to spot, she wasn't walking easily, if that makes sense. But these tiny little pockets create intense pressure. It's just like you standing on a tiny little pebble. It can be so small, but so sore. Anyway, need to wrap this up. So that's exactly what Craig is doing right now. And then we'll see how she's walking with both of these blocks on, because even although the back left foot didn't look all that dramatic, it was still sore because bruising is internal hemorrhaging, and hemorrhaging is not good.
And aside from taking a slightly wrong turn when exiting the crush, she is walking fairly well. She is clearly not walking perfectly though, but I am hoping those blocks make a huge difference over the coming days.